Hot dogs. We are back at it again. Ikoria, layer of behemoths. That's right. Transitional lenses and braces. To clear that up for everyone. People are like, you got a grill on? What do you got going on there, Joey Moss? Is that a grill? Is that braces? You got black teeth? What happened? Well, you know, it's a process. We're getting there. They should be coming off in about 6 months. So now everyone's in the know. A lot of spoilers today. I'm talking a lot, especially in the commander decks that are going to be dropped. I got nothing but rares and mythics, and I'm telling you there's probably about 20 of them. And also we do have the standard we're going to start off with. Let's kick things into gear. A lot of these spoilers just dropped in the last 4 hours, so you're going to want to stick around. Fiend Artisan. This came out, I think, yesterday. 2-drop in Golgari, Creature Nightmare. I like this card a lot. It seems very powerful, especially because you can basically tutor up a card. There's another card that does this. I think it's an elf, and it's very similar. But Friend Artisan gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. That's correct. And then for X and your choice of color there, tap it, sacrifice another creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost X or less. You can sacrifice any kind of creature you want. It could be a 1/1. Doesn't matter. Put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Activates the ability only anytime you could cast a sorcery. If that was an instant, yeah, it'd be kind of busted. But really, really, really neat mechanic on that. Not mechanic, but ability. I do like that a lot. Artisan, I expect us to see a lot of play. And I like it where you can just tutor up what you need for that time. There's a lot of cards that when it enters the battlefield, entering the battlefield effects, that makes this card very powerful. So there you have it. Shark Typhoon. That's right. Sharknado. Anybody into Sharknado? I think this is exactly what they were going with the Shark Typhoon. It's a great great movie series, all on a budget kind of film, but man, they really came a long way. Anyway, Shark Typhoon's a 6-drop enchantment. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell's converted mana cost. And then cycling for X, and then 1 and a blue. There you go. When you cycle Shark Typhoon, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying. Love this card, but I think it's going to be, maybe in a control environment, something. I'm not exactly certain how this card's going to play out. But it is extremely powerful, without a doubt. The 6 casting cost just to get this thing out is probably going to hinder its success, I'd say, in standard. But yeah, if it was like a 4-drop or something, this thing would be insane, but it'd also be pretty broken. Very cool card, very powerful. Then we have Bosh. I'm not sure the exact name. It's not Bosh Perforaparas. Okay, however that's said. There you go. Big old 5-drop, but it is a legend as well, and it's a horror. It's a horror, baby, and it's nasty. I like the art on this one. Got the companion. Each non-land card in your deck has an odd converted mana cost. If this card is your chosen companion, you may cast it once from outside the game. Whenever a source you control with an odd converted mana cost deals damage, it deals double that damage instead. Very interesting. Of course, you're going to want the right kind of synergy to go with this deck, but holy crap, man. Magic, it seems, has changed so much over the last, year, I'd say. Just a whole lot of different kind of ideas, that the creators of Magic are really pouring into this. It's pretty nuts, and also a lot more sets are dropping on us. Migration Path, cool little ramp card for 4 in green. It's a sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards, put them onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Cycling for deuce. There you have it. Trumpeting Gnar and Valiant Rescuer. Sorry about some of the images. Some are larger than others. Did what I could, guys. I do apologize. 3-drop. It's got the Mutate for 5. And then whenever this creature mutates, create a 3/3 green beast creature token. In a ramp deck, yeah, that could actually see some play. I'm not sure how much, though, because there are a lot of really powerful options out there right now. Anytime I see an uncommon right now, it's got to be really, really good. Same with a common for it to make it into a deck now. Just with the level of power, it seems. The rares and mythic power is just really outrageous. Then you have Valiant Rescuer. It's a deuce drop, human soldier. Whenever you cycle another card for the first time each turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token, cycling for 2. There you go. It's a 3/1. Now, we have some brilliant artwork here, of course. Crystalline Giant, and this card's really cool. It actually has me pretty excited to play it, because it's only 3 to bring out. So already, you're paying 3 for an artifact creature giant. Remember, it's a giant as well. Cool little type on it. And it's a 3/3. That alone right there, not bad. But this thing gets pretty crazy. At the beginning of combat on your turn, choose a kind of counter at random that Crystalline Giant doesn't have on it from among flying, first strike, death touch, hexproof, lifelink, menace, reach, trample, vigilance, and +1/+1. Put a counter of that kind on Crystalline Giant. Whoa. This thing, if it goes a few turns, without being dealt with, is going to become a monster. That's a lot of really good abilities. And what if you get hexproof on the first time around? Only a board wipe's going to take this thing out, or a way to sacrifice. Your opponent has to make you sacrifice it. I do like Crystalline Giant. The power on this set is really, really good. Now, I know the power on Theros Beyond Death, it appeared to be really, really strong, but it just didn't. It didn't really deliver. I think the casting costs on some of those spells were a little too high, and that's what really hindered it. But this set, it seems to be nailing it really well. Back for more. Here's an example of a card that's a little too high of casting, but it's a 6-drop instant. Cool that it's an instant. Return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. We've seen that a bunch. But also, when you do, it fights up to one target creature you don't control. So you're going to be able to return something, and on top of that, you're going to be able to take something out. It's almost 2 spells in one. Pretty cool card, but it's 6 to cast. Maybe like a 1 or 2 drop in some decks. I'm not really certain, but really, really cool. Auspicious Starix. It's a 5-drop with a mutate for 6. Whenever this creature mutates, exile cards from the top of your library until you exile X permanent cards, where X is the number of times this creature has mutated. Put those permanent cards onto the battlefield. That could be pretty scary also, but again, I mean, it's in green though, so I mean, this could see some play, and it's a 6/6. A 5-drop, that's a 6/6. Not bad alone, and but yeah, in a ramp build, knock yourselves out. Footfall Crater, and we have Godzilla Doom Inevitable, which is also known as the Wandering Monster. I think we talked about this card yesterday, but just to go over it again, it seems like you're not going to get these, like, I don't know if they're like the special, like, instead of how do I word this? How Wizards did it last time around, they had in any pack you get yourself the base, but then you also have a chance, especially just a standard booster box, a slim chance you're going to pull this extended art card. I think that's the route they're going with these, with the Godzilla theme and whatnot. So it's not like the normal base set, but it's like a premium of that. But then also there's an alternate art of it. There's 3. There's a lot going on here. It almost seems like how the Pokemon thing goes, where you have your I don't know how it works exactly, but you have like your base Pokemon, and then you have your next level up Pokemon, and then you have your next on top of that level up Pokemon. It's kind of like that, but only the power doesn't change, just the art does. Pretty interesting. But yeah, Trample and Haste, cycling for 2 when you cycle Yadaro, a Wandering Monster. Shuffle it into your library from your graveyard if you've cycled a card named Yadaro, Wandering Monster. 4 more times, you get to put it on the battlefield from your graveyard instead. Pretty neat. Footfall, I love the art on that though. And the Footfall Crater, Enchant Land. Enchanted Land has tap, target creature gains Trample and Haste until end of turn, which is pretty legit. I think that's a really good card. This is one uncommon that I believe will see a lot of play. Then we have Rael the Everwise. 3-drop. And people are saying this card could be pretty busted. Legendary creature, human wizard. Usually wizards can be busted, same with humans. Everwise gets +1/+0 for each instant and sorcery card in your graveyard. It does start with base power 0. It's a 0/3. Whenever you discard 1 or more cards for the first time each turn, draw that many cards. So this can find a lot of synergy in a lot of builds right now. And I would be very afraid of this card. I'm not going to lie. This card seems like it could be very impactful. It's a legendary creature, by the way. Interesting stuff. Now we have the Commander stuff. And some of these cards are just ridiculous. Commander, if you're not hip to it, Brawl came after Commander. Brawl's like trying to bring people or introduce them to Commander. It's like the baby Commander, But this is, it's taking over. It's Commander, I think, is one of the most popular, if not the most popular format to play in. So, yeah, let's take a look. Here you go. Mind Leecher is a 6-drop with the mutate for 5. And then it has flying. Whenever this creature mutates, exile the top card of each opponent's library face down. You may look at it and may play those cards for as long as they remain exiled. It's a 5/5. Pretty cool card. Again, the artwork on this is just really cool. I can't say enough good things about this set right now. It seems overwhelming, especially the amount of cards we're getting. Here's a card a lot of Commander players are really excited to play. Deuce Drop, Netherborn Altar. It's a rare artifact. Tap it, put a soul counter on Netherborn Altar. Put your commander into your hand from the command zone. Then you lose 3 life for each soul counter on Netherborn Altar. Very, very interesting. If someone wants to break down why that is so amazing, by all means, go ahead in the comments. I do appreciate you guys. Here's a freaking crazy one. Zakara the Exemplary. The art on that is just nuts. There's like a bunch of Hydras going on there. There's things flying in the sky. Maybe I don't even know. There's death all over. This is crazy. It's a 4-drop, legendary creature, Nightmare Hydra.
Just tap the search chip below.
Hey, no one asked you, Google. What the heck just happened there? Must have said something that triggered Google. Death Touch. Tap it. Add 2 mana of any one color. Whoa, ramp. And then not only that, this is like a commander for X spells. Whenever you cast a spell with X in its mana cost, create a 0/0 green Hydra creature token, then put X +1/+1 counters on it. This is something Commander players have wanted for a long time. You know, there's a lot of X spells out there, and this thing is really going to bring the pain, man. I'm curious if those legendary sorceries are going to see any more play. The ones that came out during Dominaria. Yeah, just because of the X spell and X casting costs and all of them. But this is a very, very powerful card. Probably the best commander card that they have printed in a while, in my opinion. Now we have Flawless Maneuver. 3-drop, instant. It's a rare in white. If you control a commander, you may cast this spell without paying its mana cost. Not bad. Creatures you control get indestructible until end of turn. Pretty legit sauce, especially if you're just playing one of the commander decks. You know, this is not a bad card. Yeah, you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost, which is even better. That's pretty nuts. If you control your commander, you may cast a spell without paying its mana cost. All your creatures get indestructible. Now in Commander, there's a ton of removal and a lot of board wipes. You know, like it seems almost every single deck is running board wipes. You know, whether it's wiping enchantments, wiping everything, wiping creatures. You know, wiping creatures and artifacts. You know, there's so much wide removal on it. It's going to be very interesting. So keeping a lot of creatures on the board doesn't always happen. But you know, this is a pretty cool card. It's a great way to stay in shape. There you go. Here's something interesting. They are bringing back the partners. That's right. Partners are back, man. Braylon, Sky Shark Rider, and Shabraz, the Sky Shark. Where do they come up with this stuff? It is crazy, man. So on the left here, we have Braylon, legendary creature, human shaman, partner with the Sky Shark, which means when this creature enters the battlefield, target player may put Shabraz into their hand from their library, then shuffle. Whenever you discard a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Brawlin. Am I saying that right? Bralin? Probably Braylon. I want to say Braylon. Braylon, Sky Shark Rider, and it deals 1 damage to each opponent. For only 1 red mana, target shark gains trample until end of turn. So I'm sure we're going to see a bit more sharks out of this one. This is a mythic. On the right here, we have the Sky Shark itself, and you partner with the rider. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on Shabraz, the Sky Shark, and you gain 1 life. So with these two together, you're dealing damage. They're both getting +1/+1 counters, and you're gaining life when paired. And then you have target human gains flying until end of turn. Pretty amazing. A shark can give a human flying. What does he do? He picks it up with his teeth, and flies it through the sky. I have no idea. It's a 3/3 though. Pretty interesting stuff nonetheless. Here we go. Kelsea the Plague. 3-drop, human assassin in red, white, and black. Vigilance and haste. It's legendary. The Plague gets +1/+1 for each experience counter you have. Now, we did know experience counters were coming back. You tap it. I hope I'm saying that right. Kelsea deals 1 damage to target creature you don't control. When that creature dies this turn, you get an experience counter. I do like that a lot, especially if this thing has Death Touch on it. You give this thing Death Touch. Then you're just pinging your opponent's creatures. Deals 1 damage to target creature you don't control. that can get out of control, man, with the death touch. Give this thing death touch. This card screams, give me death touch, just to start pinging all of your opponent's creatures. Give it a way to untap as well, and you're really cooking up Heaven's Bakery. Really cool card. Now we have Boneyard Miko. Miko Drax, 3-drop. Weird looking stuff going on there. Not sure what to make of that. I would at first glance I'd be like, that's a cool plant, you know, but then this fungus just attacks you. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of other creature cards in your graveyard. That's right. Scavenge for 5. So Scavenge is back. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put a number of +1/+1 counters equal to this card's power on target creature. Scavenge only as a sorcery. Interesting stuff there. Molten Echoes, baby. 4-drop. Molten Echoes. I like, it almost reminds me of a Twin Blade kind of thing, you know, but it's not Twin Blade. It's an enchantment. It has Molten Echoes enters the battlefield. Choose a creature type. Whenever a non-token creature of the chosen type enters the battlefield to your control, create a token that's a copy of that creature. That token gains haste, and of course, exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So that can get a little ridiculous. Every time I read Commander cards, I just think, imagine this stuff like in Standard, you know? It would just be so nuts. Tyam Luminous Enigma. That's a mythic. Nightmare Beast. 4-drop. Legendary creature. Nightmare Beast in white, black, and green. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional vigilance counter on it. That's pretty legit. For 3, remove 3 counters from among creatures you control. Put the top 3 cards of your library into your graveyard. Then return a permanent card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Oh boy, man, the crazy shenanigans that go on, man. Let me tell you. It says just remove 3 counters from creatures you control. So if you have a deck that ramps a bit, and it can distribute a lot of counters, like maybe proliferate or whatever the case may be. This is a pretty cool card because you're not tapping this creature when using that ability. So you can again and again just get crazy and start doing that. It goes in the graveyard, then have some stuff that uses recursion on top of that in the deck. Just a whole lot of fun shenanigans going on here with Enigma. Powerful stuff. Shared Animosity. I think this is a reprint. I'm not positive. Someone let me know. It's a 3-drop enchantment. Whenever a creature you control attacks, it gets +1/+0 until end of turn for each other attacking creature that shares a creature type with it. I'm pretty certain that's a reprint, but that is legit. Your tribal kind of things, themes and whatnot. That's where this card would fit into play. Like Gabos, maybe. You want to do Gabos with that. They can get pretty nuts. Curious Herd, 4-drop, instant. Choose target opponent. You create X/3/3 green beast creature tokens, where X is the number of artifacts that player controls. Are you guys overwhelmed yet? Let's just take a moment. I mean, this is some overwhelming stuff. You know, there's a lot of cards here. And I appreciate you guys watching. I'm just going to say that right now. Because, man, holy crap. You know, sometimes I do these videos, but Wizards drop so much stuff on us. It's like, this is just insanity. I almost feel like I'm speaking in monotone sometimes. You know, it's like, wow. Joey Moss, another video talking about another 100 cards that just dropped. Oh my gosh, guys. But anyway, I do appreciate you guys. I just want to take a little break, just gather my thoughts. So many cards. Okay, instant. Choose target opponent. You create X/3/3 green beast creature tokens, where X is the number of artifacts that player controls. That's legit. Cool sideboard card. Now, I don't think you have a sideboard for Commander, but that's pretty nuts, man. Interesting stuff again. Nascent Metamorph. 2-drop Shapeshifter. Whenever an Ascent Metamorph attacks or blocks, target opponent reveals cards from the top of their library until they reveal a creature card. Ascent Metamorph becomes a copy of that card. I like these kind of cards. Until end of turn. Then that player puts all cards revealed this way on the bottom of their library in a random order. Very, very cool. Shapeshifters are a lot of fun and it should be considered extremely dangerous, you know, because if you reveal the right card from your opponent, and this thing becomes that, you can easily close out a game, you know, depending on what that card is. Pretty cool Shapeshifter. I like it. Sanctuary Blade, a 2-drop artifact equipment. As it becomes attached to a creature, choose a color. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has protection from the last chosen color. Equip for 3. Interesting card. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has protection from the last chosen color. Protection is always huge. Never underestimate the power of protection. That's right, Trojan. All right, then we have a Johnny Unyielding. Extremely underwhelming. $1 Planeswalker reprint. Why they did that, I don't know. But yeah, a Johnny Unyielding's back. You know, for those of you not familiar with it, there's all the stats on it. You know, for -2, exile target creature. Its controller gains life equal to its power. It's -9 is pretty crazy. Put 5 +1/+1 counters on each creature you control and 5 loyalty counters on each other Planeswalker you control. Yeah, that's out there, man. But he got the reprint. Did not need one, though. I don't know why they did that. Decoy Gambit, 3-drop instant. For each opponent, choose up to 1 target creature that player controls, then return that creature to its owner's hand, unless its controller has you draw a card. There you go, you can draw a card, guys. Not too bad. Interesting card. It's a cool instant. I do like it. Then we have this pair, which is just nutty. I like the art on the Ruthless Stalker on the right there. Pretty cool. So Ukima, Stalking Shadow, and Caesar, Ruthless Stalker, whatever. I'd like to see you guys pronounce all these freaking wacky card names, all right? I don't care. I don't care. Let me hear about it in the comments. Tell me how I can't pronounce crap. All right, here we go. Legendary creature, a whale wolf. And then you have the times where I purposely mispronounce stuff, and that really gets you going. Partner with the Caesar, Ruthless Stalker. Ukima, Stalking Shadow, can't be blocked. I love that already. When Ukima leaves the battlefield, it deals X damage to target player, and you gain X life, where X is its power. Get him! And then you got Ruthless Stalker, legendary creature, human warrior, partner with our homie on the side. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature. So that's just, man, they have to basically figure out a way to kill off all your creatures or they're going to die rather quickly. That's what that's telling me. Ravenous Gigantotherium is a 7-drop creature beast. Devour mechanic is back. It's got Devour 3, very powerful mechanic. As this enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice any number of creatures. This creature enters the battlefield with 3 times that many +1/+1 counters on it. When Ravenous Gigantotherium enters the battlefield, it deals X damage divided as you choose among up to X target creatures, where X is its power. Each of those creatures deals damage equal to its power to Ravenous Stop it. Gigantotherium. It's a 3/3. Yeah, what more do you want me to say? The word power again? It's a powerful card, guys. All right, but 7-drop, I don't know how much play it's going to see. I just like the Devour's back. It's pretty fun. Whoa, I'm out of breath. Wow. A lot of cards going on here, and I'm sure I'll be back with another spoiler video tomorrow. I do have 2 battles coming up. It's true. We got 2 gift edition boxes, which will be getting cracked open before we do another mystery booster box battle. So stay tuned for those videos to drop. And also check out these other videos. If you missed the other spoilers, there's a ton going out right now. As a Magic player, just keep it real. Do you guys feel overwhelmed? You know, like, and especially to newer players, you know, just any player. I can imagine a new player being like, oh, I'm new to Magic. Oh, what sets should I get? Well, you know, you have Commander, you have this, you have that, you have this, you have Standard, you have that. There's like 10 sets coming out in the next 3 days. You know, it's like, what? You know, like, is too much not good? How much is, like, too much of anything is not a good thing. And we've seen other card games go to crap because they just print the stuff into oblivion, you know. Like Yu-Gi-Oh! Is the prime example. You know, card prices just dropped, upset the plan. You know, the player base, whatever. You know, and they started reprinting like basically what's the equivalent of like the Black Lotus. They was just reprinting them. Like, cool, dude. I love that my cards are devalued and worth garbage now. Thank you. But then some people still want the original, you know, mint condition and all that. But man, we are seeing a lot of reprints, and it's scary. But yeah, check out the other videos. There they are. I appreciate you guys. Definitely take a moment, punch the like button, and yeah, wow. It's going to be a crazy time. Skadoosh.